topic for this class is understanding the process of meditation. When we talk about taking our mind away from our body or taking our mind to a higher consciousness or taking our mind far away from the physical world, what does this mean exactly? What we need is a map to show where we're taking our mind and to have a picture in my mind of what I'm supposed to do during meditation. This is a map of meditation. There is a blue region with the earth, the sun, the moon, and the stars. This represents where my mind is most of the time. It means that 99.9% of the time, my thoughts are related to something physical. From the moment I wake up in the morning until I close my eyes at night, most of our waking hours are thinking about something physical. My job, my house, my car, my family, and especially my own body. So anytime my thoughts are directed towards something physical, it's called physical consciousness or physical awareness. So this map represents where my mind is during meditation and where my mind is most of the time during the day. It's called the three worlds or the three levels of consciousness. So when we start to practice meditation, what we're doing is we're using our thoughts and start to focus on something spiritual, which is not physical. Meaning, I'm starting to become aware of myself as something more than just a body. So when we start the process of meditation, I start to turn my attention inwards. I start to think deeply about who am I, and I start to direct my thoughts to peaceful thoughts and harness the power of my thoughts to give myself an experience of peace, to allow my mind to take a break from all of the physical things which I have to think about to live my life. So when I start to do this, meaning when I start to bring into my awareness a spiritual consciousness about my own self, in this state of mind or in this consciousness, I start to relax. I start to experience peace. So this is represented in this map as a subtle consciousness. So you see there's a yogi sitting on the earth and a white line going directly up. So this means that my consciousness is starting to become subtle. We call it a higher consciousness. So what will I experience in this white region? I will start to feel at ease, calm, cool. My identity, my awareness about my own self starts to become subtle. Or you can call it a subtle consciousness, a subtle awareness. I feel very light. very free, as if I'm wearing a costume of light. And then I continue to go a little bit higher consciousness. This orange-red region is called the soul world. It is not a place, not a physical place. It is an awareness where I experience complete, deep peace. In this consciousness, I have no awareness of anything physical, not even of my own body. I am still myself in a practical way, but I am absorbed, deeply absorbed in the experience of peace. It feels like being at home, the home of the soul. This place of peace, this soul world, is also referred to as nirvana. This is our home, where we come from. It is also the home of this source of peace, the higher being, the supreme being, the supreme soul. The home means that this source of peace, this being of light, is always in a deep consciousness of peace, like an ocean of peace. Now, these three worlds or three levels of consciousness, it doesn't mean that I'm literally going somewhere during meditation. But this is just to help me understand the process where I am making an effort to take my mind and my awareness away from everything physical. Because when I do this, immediately my mind relaxes and I start to experience peace. It is so simple. Now, what happens in practical? Because our mind is not yet trained, our mind has a tendency to run everywhere. Especially when I make a deliberate effort to meditate, sometimes my mind does not cooperate with me, and I start thinking about things which are completely irrelevant, nothing to do with meditation. So if you see in this map of meditation, there's a yogi sitting on the earth and a white line going straight up. So this is like a ladder. When we are meditating, for example, I'm practicing meditation, I'm starting to relax, starting to feel at ease, starting to feel peaceful, and then all of a sudden, my mind runs to what I have to do at work, or my mind runs to what's going on at home. So it's like I've gone up the ladder a little bit to a subtle consciousness, and then again, I come back down into the physical consciousness. Again, this is not literally going somewhere, but it represents where is my awareness. Once I have trained my mind for some time, you need to give yourself a good 3 months to practice meditation to get good at it. So be patient with yourself. A time will come where you can stabilize your mind in this subtle consciousness and be completely absorbed in the experience of peace. It is so empowering. It feels so refreshing to be absorbed in peace. Now, there's another picture. Sometimes we talk about God or a higher being, a higher spirit, a supreme soul, being beyond the world, or in the heavens, or above the clouds. And oftentimes, when we refer to this higher being, we think up or point up. What does this mean? It means that this being of light, this source of peace, is not a physical being. So if I'm not a physical being, there's no question about where I am in a physical place. It means that if you see in this picture, there's the sun, the moon, the stars, the whole unlimited galaxy, the universe, the physical universe, which is made up of physical elements. Even the fastest rocket, the most powerful rocket, cannot go beyond the physical elements. So when we meditate, we are withdrawing our attention and our awareness from everything physical and becoming absorbed, focused, concentrated, firstly on me as a spiritual being, and then taking my mind, my feelings, to a subtle consciousness. So it's as though I go beyond the physical universe and make contact or make a connection with this higher being, this source of peace, and I become absorbed in this higher, peaceful consciousness. Again, all of this happens in a very natural and practical way. I'm still sitting here in a normal, practical way, but it has to do with where is my awareness. Here is another picture. We call this yogi in bliss. And you see here, there's a meditator taking the mind from the physical consciousness, like the blue region, and taking the mind beyond the blue physical consciousness to a subtle consciousness, and then connecting to a source of peace, a supreme being of light. Now, this being of light is not just a light, but this being is live and conscious, just like we are. So when we talk about yoga, how does the yoga actually work? The easy way to understand this is when we think about people, meaning our relationships in our life. And it's not that we only think about the people in our life when we are physically in front of them. We are constantly thinking about those that we have relationship with, even when we're not in front of them. So how does this work? For example, if I have a brother or a sister, mother or a father, husband or wife, and if I am at work and the other person is at home, I'm not physically in front of them. So what I will do, and this happens all the time without us even thinking about it, without making any special effort. We do it all the time. So what do we do? In my mind comes an image of what that person looks like, usually their face and kind of a silhouette of their form. Once this comes into my mind, it forges a link or a connection. And then comes the vibrations, the feelings of whatever is going on in that relationship. So if the relationship is good and I think of that person, I'll feel happy. If there's some friction there and I think of that person, then I will not feel good. This is actually called yoga. Yoga means when I connect my mind to someone or to something. Once this connection is established, then it opens up like a two-way street, an exchange of vibrations and feelings. So in physical yoga, where we do physical postures or breathing exercises, I'm connecting my mind to my own body and using my own body to make my mind peaceful. In Raj Yoga meditation, we're going to do just the opposite. We're going to take our mind away beyond our physical body into a consciousness of peace. And when I do this, it is extremely healthy for my own body. My entire body, every muscle, every cell starts to relax and be peaceful. Now, in Raj Yoga meditation, we are practicing to connect to a being of light that is not physical. So in this relationship with this Supreme Being, what am I supposed to think about? What image should I bring into my mind for a being who doesn't have a physical body, for a being that is not physical? So this is why we start out as a tool or an aid for meditation. We have this symbolic point of light to represent this Supreme Being that doesn't have a body. So initially, I will bring into my awareness, and just for understanding purposes, that this Supreme Being is like a point of light. And also, since we are meditating with our eyes open, it's helpful to have something to focus on while my eyes are open. So initially when we are meditating, we are looking at this point of light as a focal point and experimenting, creating an awareness about myself that I'm not this physical body. There's something more to me than this body of mine. What is that? I am a live soul, a spiritual being. So initially, when we start meditating, there's a little bit of intellectual understanding, but slowly this starts to translate into realization and then experience. And it's through this experience in meditation, I start getting a picture in my mind. What is the personality of this higher being, this source of peace? And this is how the relationship starts getting forged, how the relationship starts to connect, how a union is established. So when we say Raja Yoga, we're talking about the connection with this higher being, just like I would think about a person. Because we already know how to do this. We think about people all the time. Now we're using the same concept, the same method, which we already know, to think about, to establish a connection, to develop a relationship with the being of light that doesn't have a body. Now let us have an experiment with meditation, and we'll again go to this higher consciousness with our mind. Our objective during meditation is to have a few moments experience of peace. First of all, relax your body, your hands, your feet. You can sit comfortably. Put your body in a comfortable position, and with your mind, make your entire body relax. Now, we turn our attention inwards. I remind myself that I am something more than this body of mine. Most of the time, my mind is absorbed and thinking about something physical. My mind is like a rocket. With my thoughts, I take myself to a higher consciousness. I am the master of my own mind. My mind is cool, calm, focused, at ease. Right now, I have an appointment, a meeting between me and the source of peace. I feel deep within me a feeling of calm. I am very stable, very focused, very concentrated. At the same time, completely relaxed, at ease. In this state of mind, all of the tension disappears. My awareness about my own self starts to change. With my mind, with my thoughts, I go far above this physical world. It's as if I've gone beyond the pull of the gravity of this physical world. All around me is light and light. When I am aware of myself as a spiritual being, it is very easy to connect to this source of peace, who is also a being of light. This source of peace, this supreme light, comes in front of me. I can feel rays of power coming towards me. This gentle light knows what I need, and without me saying anything, this light, this supreme light, gives me the experience of my original nature of peace. I am absorbed and charged with this spiritual strength. My mind is empowered. I am absorbed in an ocean of peace, and I become like this ocean of peace. I look down into the world, and as I am experiencing this power of peace with my mind and feelings, I give these vibrations of peace to all the souls in the world. As I come back to this physical awareness, I am still me, but I am so light, so refreshed, so calm. It's like I am a peaceful being sitting inside the costume of this body. I am here in a normal way, but I am so peaceful, detached from this body of mine. This concludes this session. Look forward to seeing you in the next session. Om Shanti.